Hello, this is Miasha Dand coming to you live from Munich, Germany. I'm at the Siemens AI with Purpose Summit, and today this is day 2. I have with me Sonja Zilner, and we will be talking about the role of diverse expertise in building trustworthy AI technologies. So Sonja, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me here.
Tell us more about your role at Siemens.
Yeah. So at Siemens, I'm leading the Trustworthy AI activity. So this is an overarching activity. So we need to bundle all the different expertise. So it's nice to be here within an interview. And in addition, I've led the last 1.5 years the generative AI governance and AI governance activities. So basically here we are implementing all these regulation and make sure that they come into the processes. And here we need to integrate all different disciplines we have in Siemens. I'm also having a role at Technical University of Munich. So here I'm an Honorary Professor and trying to match academia and industrial research. So basically that we move forward together in this important topic.
Fantastic. That's so much needed, right? Because there's so much great research being done in universities, but then there is the industrial applications that you need to benefit from that research. Can you share with us, how do you bridge that gap in your dual roles as both a university professor, your academic role, but also as a practitioner at Siemens?
So I think you have different expertise. So the one, as you just mentioned, in academia, it's more technology focused, and in industry, it's more application focused. And the answer is quite simple. You need to connect the people, right? You need to talk to the people because they need to get an understanding that it's different, that they have different expertises, and they need to ask questions, and you need to bring them together, and then you need to say, oh, I haven't understood. Can you explain it again? Let's think aloud. And all these type of mechanism to make feel the different disciplines, so to say, or the different areas feeling curious to be connected and to really know, can learn from this person or I can learn from the other person.
So curiosity and communication sounds...
Yeah, and bringing them together. Yeah.
Amazing. I remember you from your presentation last year.
Okay.
At AI with Purpose Summit last year was my first year. I really enjoyed your presentation on AI and regulation, and you talked about what the current state was at last year's summit. So can you talk to us about the current state of regulation, and more specifically, how do you see different types of diversities like abilities, race, faith, gender being addressed in the updated guidance?
Yeah. I mean, this is a very huge topic, and everybody is very busy in implementing the upcoming AI Act. We have, as I said, we are currently implementing a risk-based framework to ensure that all the different risk dimensions are addressed. And in this risk framework, we are also addressing the topic of bias. So when it comes to discrimination and diversity, this is a topic where the data plays in and where we need to take actions on it. And I think the overall approach, or like in terms of the status of the AI Act, you might know that this is currently, it was submitted or published last year, and now we take action to have all these topics implemented, prohibited use cases, and now we're looking at the GPI transparency obligation. So you do it once by once. But in terms of discrimination and bias, I think the topics are addressed. To be quite clear, in the industrial applications, they do not apply so frequently, because if we are not interacting with end users, we do not have this issue. Yeah, we do not have any discrimination while production systems. But I think the overall approach of Siemens taking a risk-based approach is, from my perspective, the right way forward, because in this way, we have a systematic manner to look at what can go wrong in terms of legal compliance, in terms of data privacy, in terms of reliability, hallucination, and we also have all these experts in place that we then can align to find good solutions to mitigate.
Absolutely, because without a systematic approach, you can't really scale, and it becomes chaotic.
Exactly,
and you have all these gaps. You might forget something, so that makes sense there.
And we have a large number of use cases, right? So we need to scale, and we need to make sure that we access the right experts and expertise.
I like it. The humans and the humans who have the expertise. That absolutely makes sense. You mentioned hallucinations, so maybe we can talk about that a little bit. So hallucinations and biases in AI systems affect the reliability and trustworthiness of AI technologies. Can we talk about how do you recommend the enterprises, governments address these in a practical way?
When you assess, so hallucination is with generative AI applications. If you assess the risk of hallucination within a generative AI application, you need to first define or look at what is the intended purpose of the application. If you have understood and who are the people using it. So this needs to be analyzed beforehand, and you need to decide what action then can be done. So basically, we need to make clear that Gen AI applications are statistical applications, so there will be some hallucination around, so we will never get rid of them. So we need to find ways to mitigate them. And one is about informing the user about it. The other way is about testing whether wrong answers are coming. Third one is informing the user about the source where the information did come for. And fourth is about educating. So you need to inform the people about how the system goes, that this person knows, okay, I need to be critical. That's the type of answers I'm getting, so that the person can mitigate the hallucination risk.
I'm glad you mentioned the mitigation, because it's important that people are aware that this is a feature of these large language models, not a bug that you can just get rid of. So that's critically important, and then coming with an approach to address those. Your focus is on trustworthy AI. Can you talk to us about the diverse backgrounds, the expertise that's needed to build these trustworthy AI technologies?
We have an interdisciplinary team that is working on the trustworthy AI processes within Siemens. So here we have included for sure AI experts, for sure. But we have very important legal experts. We have cybersecurity experts. We have data privacy experts, so they belong to the legal ones. And we have from human resources. And we have people from security. And we have connection to ethical committees within Siemens. The discussion is very, I like it a lot. It's about making a proposal, and then the other discipline, for example, the legal colleagues, bring their perspective, and then they better try the function of the technology, and then I better understand the legal text. And the other person comes with the cybersecurity issues. And so we are putting all bits and pieces together. So I don't think that we could do it in silos.
I like that. That has been a theme I've been hearing at this AI with Purpose Summit here, that AI has been breaking down silos. It's bringing people together so they can solve these problems, because these technologies are complex and they have a lot of great scale impact. That it makes sense that all of these different teams would come together to build something that's robust and trustworthy. So I appreciate that. So I have one last question for you. Industrial AI is a very male-dominated space. And it's always wonderful to come to Siemens, and I see so many fantastic women. We have interviewed others as well, and you're, of course, one of the leading women leaders at Siemens. I'd love to get your advice for women who are watching all over the world. Is how would you advise them, like if they're trying to build a career in this space? Where should they start, and like how would you advise someone who is either new to the space or someone who's trying to make a transition into industrial AI?
So I think actually industrial AI is a super cool place for women. First of all, it's technical, but you need to really dive into the shoes of other people to understand the user needs, the value proposition, and you need to connect all these different pieces. So I think for women, this is a very cool place because in general, they are pretty good in those things, putting together different perspectives. And I also think it's a cool place because it never gets boring because it's always other use cases. Yeah, it's like having solved it in for the production facility, then we doing the trains, and it's always like different problems. So I see that everybody there is quite happy with the large scale of applications and always thinking about how to solve it. The question for women to get into it, just do it. So just do it and connect and work in this area. So there's a lot of space, and in particular, all these mint areas where we need more women in independently, whether this is in academia for the professors or in industry. So we do have a limited pipeline of women following. So from whom we can select. So I encourage every woman to go into this direction and look at the CVs of other women, how they started, how they followed their career, and in case of interest, reach out to me. Just do it.
Fantastic. That was really great. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think so many women who are watching would be so inspired to know there are opportunities, that this can open doors for them. And this multidisciplinary approach that you mentioned is going to be so critical, right? Because then they don't have to feel intimidated. So whatever expertise they have, they can come and join this space. So thank you so much for Sonja and Zilner for joining us. Really excited. And folks who are watching us, please do follow her on LinkedIn. That's how I found her. And yeah, she's very active on LinkedIn and social media. So please find her and connect. So thank you.
Thank you so much.